haven't really contributed offensively the way I wanted to this year, but to come back from injury and get one right away felt good personally, and obviously for the team. Anytime you can play with the lead, you're going to play with a lot more confidence, and I thought we did that as a group.
You guys were down 2 in the second and killed off a 5-on-3. How important was that at that stretch in the game, and how much momentum did that give the guys a boost killing that off?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, special teams is a big part of the game we play. Anytime you can score a power play goal, you're going to build momentum off it. But at the same time, anytime you get a big kill, it energizes the bench, energizes players individually. So we definitely built off it. You got to give credit to our PK group.
They're at the end of a road trip right now. How much was the sense of come out and really put some pressure on them early and try to jump on them tonight in this one? It seemed like you guys were aggressive from the jump.
I don't think that had anything to do with them being at the end of the road trip. I think we were focused on ourselves as a group and continuing to get better every single day, and coming to work and not being complacent with where we're at. So, taking 3 out of 4 points against the defending Cup champions is it's a pretty good result for our group.
Thank you.
Next question, Helene St. James, Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Troy, what can a victory like this do for a team, especially one that's had some trouble scoring?
Just give us confidence. They're one of the top teams in the league for a reason. They showed it last year. They're showing it this year with where they're at in the standings. And, for us, we're continuing to, try to get better day in, day out. And this just reinforces the things we've been working on. And at the same time, we can't, be happy with ourselves and just sit back now. We got to continue to push and take another step forward.
What was the sense on the bench, on the ice, when they made it a 1-goal game there in the third, that for you guys to not let that mentally creep in?
Just keep playing, understanding that there's time left on the clock and you have a job to do. You can't sit back and, look in the mirror and think what you could have done. At the end of the day, you have to play till the buzzer goes, and that's what we did. Obviously, I've been out of the lineup for 3 weeks, but we had some leads going to the third, and we didn't win those games. And even tonight, they got a couple late there and made it a closer game than it was. And we definitely have to learn from these, experiences.
It's good to get 3 or 4 points against obviously a team as good as they are. I think our guys competed hard. I didn't think we played very smart tonight at all. And I think Bernie was our best player tonight by far. I thought the other night we played good enough to win the hockey game for sure. And then we unfortunately lost in overtime. They're a good hockey team. I think there's areas in our game we got to clean up. Now, you'd like to learn those lessons and find those areas when you win. And we've played lots of good games this year that I felt we deserved a better fate maybe, and we didn't get it. So good for us to find a way to win. Certainly goaltending is a huge part of this game, and our goalie was the best player on the ice tonight.
Reversal of the call on Stamkos at the end of the game. It worked out well for you, but what kind of impact can that have? Thinking you're going to have an opportunity to have a man advantage, and then the face-off ends up in your end in a tight game.
Well, I knew what they were doing, so we were ready for it. Obviously, that's a big moment. If that goes 5-on-5, it's a much easier situation than 6-on-5. But that's the call they made, and so we had to adjust.
And you talk about how good Bernie was. He was great on that 2-man penalty kill you had to have in the second period. But how big was that to kill that 2-man disadvantage off at that point in the game for your team? Thank you.
Well, I would say this. I think our kill has struggled here in the last little bit, and then they scored real easy in the first kill. And after that, I thought our kill was great. I thought our kill was absolutely great. I thought it was the difference in the game. Honestly, it almost felt like we controlled the game when we had the kill. Bernie had to make a couple of big saves, which you're going to have to do on a kill, certainly on a 3-on-5. But I thought our killers did a really good job. So if I was to look at 2 areas of the game that were the difference in the game, for me, it was our goaltending and our penalty kill.
Next question from Answer Khan, then live.
Yeah, Jeff, was that Mantha's best game of the season, and how important was that, especially against this team with its big defense?
Well, Anthony's one of those guys that when he plays against, big, strong, great defensemen, he can still create. He's got the ability to play against those guys because he's got that kind of skill set. Some guys can try their hardest and not really create much because of the mismatch in skill sets, and Anthony's got the skill set. So, I thought Anthony played good. I thought yeah, done both games. He's actually played pretty well here in the last little bit. He's I think, done a really good job of moving his feet, bending his knees, and skating.
Also, you like the jump that Larkin has had since coming back from injury, a couple goals in a couple games here.
Larks has played well since coming back. I think, I thought the last game he really controlled the puck, and I thought in this game here, he competes hard. He's a big piece for us. So it's certainly good to have him back.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep, thank you.
Next up, Helene St. James, Detroit Free Press.
Jeff, is this week more what you guys thought you would look like before you lost 5 guys to COVID and all the injuries set in? I mean, I know you're still missing Tyler Bertuzzi, but this is a fairly healthy lineup you have now. Is this more like what you thought you guys would be like?
Well, it allows us to be more complete, as a team, and we don't have enough difference-making players to lose them, and so when we lost a number of guys, it hurt us, and I think when we've been healthy, I think we've played pretty good hockey overall. We've had our moments and not, but overall, I think we've played pretty good. We haven't won enough, but I think we've played pretty good, and then to come out, and find a way to get 3 points against Tampa is a good thing for us. So now we got to build on it. We obviously have a tough schedule ahead. We got Carolina, who I think is one of the best teams in the league, coming in here, and so we got to make sure we're ready to go, and we got to make sure we keep getting better here. But yeah, it's we'd love to have Bert back too, but everybody's in that situation. Everybody would love to have a full roster. It's just not the reality of life in the NHL.